I'm so excited to be chatting with you. I really enjoyed getting to interview you in September as you were beginning your new role. So now I'm excited to follow up 9 months later and see how you've grown in this position. So
Thanks.
first, can you just remind everybody what initially drew you to the Dean of Students position, and then what has helped campus feel like home this year?
So this is my second time being like an AVP position / Dean of Students. And I love this work for a lot of reasons. One is I get to supervise a variety of areas and help kind of build out their vision and be a leader and help them kind of make sure that the work that they're doing is aligned with what students' needs are and what the university's priorities are and things like that. So I really enjoy that kind of managerial and visioning and leadership and all of that kind of stuff. But then the Dean of Students work I love so much because I get the opportunity to celebrate with students and be there to get their exciting new wins. Just actually last night I emailed all the USS new officers that were just elected to just say congratulations and I'm excited to see them do great things. And I also get to be a human when some of our students are having their hardest days of their lives or really kind of struggling to navigate campus, or when something really tough happens on campus. So to be that calm, thoughtful, genuine human, I really strive and I try really hard to be that kind of human when someone's having a really tough time. And so we've definitely had some of those, unfortunately, but it's kind of part of the gig. Yeah. And then what has made this feel home, I believe is the second question. I mean, the people, of course. I've had the really awesome opportunity to get to know some students, you being one of them. And so that's been really fun and exciting. I love to be able to connect and learn about how students are kind of doing their stuff, so that definitely makes me feel at home.
What is something that you wish students better understood about your office and your role?
I think a lot of students don't know that a Dean of Students exists or what my role does or how they may interface with that. And I think that's okay to a certain extent. So one of the things that we are kind of looking at and considering is how to kind of help build my presence and the work that we do, how to kind of build out those things. So I get the chance to work with a lot of my communications and marketing colleagues to kind of strategize and talk through how we can improve that. For me as a person, it's kind of a weird balance because I'm not the type of person that needs to be the center of attention all the time. I don't mind if I need to be, but I don't need that. And so how do I help elevate our work, the presence that my role is, but also bring in people who are also part of that experience. So I think I hope that a lot of students know that I hope that I'm a trusted person, someone that they can, again, a lot of times we're meeting with students who are going through something a little tough or a lot tough, and so I hope they feel like they can, I can be someone that they will hold their story well and honor their experience and kind of help shepherd it into hopefully a better place.
So when we spoke in September, you said you hope to be visible in student spaces such as club meetings, events, and dining halls. What did that look like in practice for you this year?
Yeah, one of my colleagues joked a couple of months ago that the fall semester I did a lot of dean of, and that this past kind of semester it's been more of the students part of my work. To be really honest, back in the fall, I was at a lot of things. I was at every single football game at the student gate. I tried to attend like USS meetings and some other campus-wide events, but a lot of my meetings were about meeting colleagues, faculty and staff across the university. So most of my meetings were colleague focused. But this past spring, I got the opportunity to travel with USS to Richmond for Hockey Day. And they kept on asking me, like, who are you meeting with? And I'm like, I'm just here to hang out with you all and listen and help you process your meetings with different legislators and things like that. And so I think they were surprised that I wasn't there to do like meetings, but really just to be with the students. So that was really cool. So I think I have had the opportunity to grab coffee and lunches with a couple different students over the past couple months, and that's been really fun.
In your previous role, you mentioned that you would manage a more traditional student affairs portfolio,
Yep.
and now you oversee multiple sub-departments, including SSC, USS, things like that. So how do you prioritize and make decisions across such a wide range of areas?
Emma, that's a really good question. I think that's one of the hardest parts about being a leader in this kind of fashion. So I think part of it is spending time with people and understanding their work. So again, the last couple of months I've been attending a lot of different meetings. So for instance, there is, within the 4 departments that report into me, each of them have these like standard either every week or every other week meetings. And so back in October, I think it was, I said to them, this next month I'm gonna go to all these meetings to just observe and learn and see you all in action. I hope I didn't make them nervous by being there, because sometimes that can be a little awkward and weird to have the new boss pop in. But my goal was to understand how they do their work, how it kind of interfaces with the student experience, all that kind of things. So that as much, and then I've been having like lunch and meetings with not just my direct reports, but the people that report into them as well. Because in my opinion, I hope to be a good leader. To be a good leader, you have to understand things from other people's perspectives. And part of that's spending time with other people and asking questions and understanding why they do it, the history, the context behind how they got to where they are, what they think they do really well, what are the things that are harder in their work, kind of understanding that. And from there, you're able to kind of have conversations to balance out different priorities. So for instance, we have like an annual budget request process. And out of the 4 departments that report into me, only 2 did we put forward requests for additional resources. And there were 2 of them that we didn't. And it's not because that work isn't important, but it was really, again, kind of the balancing of the priorities, the balancing of the workloads and kind of what the needs are, and helping to explain the thought process behind it. So a lot of time is spent listening and understanding, and then also kind of sharing what I understand, and so that they're able to kind of understand from my perspective.
It's quite the year to start out your tenure at Virginia Tech, you know. So what is the biggest lesson you've learned over these 9 months, whether personally, professionally, and was there a specific moment that like taught you this lesson?
Yeah. So this may be surprising to people, but I'm actually quite introverted. I think I present as very extroverted and bubbly. I think that's what people pick up from me. But I actually do not enjoy small talk, and I don't enjoy networking. And like knowing you, Emma, I enjoy seeing you and catching up with you. But when I just meet other people, it's kind of awkward, or I feel awkward internally at least. And so, but I think my role as the Dean of Students, people expect me or want for me to be out there and getting to know them. And so even when I'm tired or drained, a lot of times I have to like internally be like, you can do this, you can do this. So whether it's at an advancement event or at a football game or walking across campus or at a meeting, you know, like again, at a meeting is an example. I'm the type person when I was in college that I would just like come to my class and sit at my desk, and you know, I didn't really chat with people around me. And so I need to go out of my way when I show up to meetings, say, hey Emma, how you doing? You know, kind of connect with people. A lot of folks will say that Virginia Tech is a very relational place. It definitely is. And I need to help myself show up and continue to get to know people really well, even when I'm a little tired.
So how will this lesson shape your second academic year in the role, do you think? You'll be a sophomore now. I know in the September you were like, I feel like a freshman. Now you're about to be a sophomore.
Yeah. I mean, I think what will be nice about my sophomore year is I'll kind of know the places and spaces that I need to spend more time getting to know folks. And so, you know, and of course I'll need to continue to develop the relationships that I've already had. But that's easier because, again, I know them at that point. It's less awkward. So probably what I'll do is, you know, I tend to be a pretty, my thoughts tend to be pretty organized. And so probably what I'll do is over the summer kind of reflect and kind of decide, like, these are the 5 areas or these are the 3 areas that I really need to go into that meeting knowing that I need to connect with people and ask more about them and what their perspectives are, again, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it'll be, I'm sure it'll be hard in a lot of ways, because it always is, but I think in a lot of ways it'll be easier because a lot of the unknowns are now known. I've had really great colleagues who've kind of continued to give feedback, not like feedback in like, hey, make sure we're thinking about this and considering this, so I'll continue to lean on those folks so that I'm kind of capturing the areas that are really important. And then again, connecting with students is definitely a priority. Every student's experience is different, and so that nuance is really important, and kind of hearing those stories differently. So.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so excited for your next year. Thank you so much for all you've done this year, and this was so nice talking with you.
Thank you.